So tell us, how have you been? Where have you been? What's going on? What's happening?
Well,
A lot. But she had to breathe.
it's a lot. A lot is happening. But I can't say I've been well. I've not been well for quite some time now. It has really been a challenge for me to do most of the things because of my condition. Yeah, so I've just been home. I've been trying to record so that I can come up with a new album.
Yeah.
But I can't do much because of the condition I do have a complete album, so to say, but it's still not yet on the market because of the same condition.
Okay, so what is the condition? Most of us just see you have something, but we don't know what's going on. Try and make us understand so that we can just, you know.
Well, the problem is with the spine. Yeah, it all started in 2002.
In 2002.
Yeah, but then I was expecting my firstborn child. Yeah, so it started with a pain in the leg.
Yeah.
So I couldn't know what was going on. Do you know how old people are like? They will be like, things like that.
Yeah.
And I could be sometime relaxed, thinking, okay, I'll be fine afterwards. But it got everyone's attention because I started bending bit by bit, and it was like getting worse. Like even just to walk a very short distance, I would take long. So that's when I had to explain myself to the doctors when I went for antenatal, and then they were like kind of amazed to say, okay, this is beyond what we can do. We just have to refer you to UTH. So when they referred me to UTH, they didn't do much as well. They tried to do some x-rays, but they said, we can't do much because of your condition. We have to wait until you deliver. So thereafter, I stayed there. Actually, they had to admit me there and then until I delivered. But thereafter, there's a doctor that helped me with some drugs that helped me to start walking straight at least. Yeah, but unfortunately the pain was still there. So I had to go back to UTH to say this pain is still there and I don't know why. That's when they did some more investigation and discovered that the problem was coming from the spine. Because all I could feel was the hip joints. And more especially of the left leg. So when they discovered the problem, that's when they said, actually, we are admitting you right away because we don't even know why you are even able to walk, because what we are seeing here, you're supposed to be paralyzed. I said, I don't know, but I don't think you're supposed to admit me, because I thought I was just the pain that I was feeling, I can bear it at home, but they said no, it's a serious condition. So I had to stay in the hospital until they discharged me later on. But at first they thought it's TB of the spine. So they put me on TB treatment for 1 year, 1 month. Thereafter, the pain was still there. They said, okay, well, maybe it will take some time for you to get back to your normal self. So I had to wait, and they kept on giving me some other drugs like calciums and painkillers. Like painkillers were always there. I just have to take painkillers every day until date. As we are speaking right now, I took some for me to have the courage to come here. So it was kind of hell all through. I tried to take the painkillers, nothing. I stayed home, but I could go back again. They do some checkups. They say, no, we just continue with the same drugs, but still nothing. Until in, that was 2013 when it was really, really bad. I had to go back again to say this time it's something that I can't bear. Then they had to put me again on TB treatment.
Again?
Yeah.
They were not sure that it was TB.
Well, from what I can say, I would say they were not sure because I think they were depending on these other results, which would show that there are some foreign bacteria in the body, but not really showing them that it's really TB. So there is a doctor that actually opened my eyes, who told me to say, have you ever had TB of the lungs? I said no. Then he said that it's impossible for you to have TB of the other parts before the lungs, because it starts from the lungs and then goes to the other parts. So that's when they actually took some time to say, okay, I think we are after the second treatment, so they said, I think we're dealing with something more than TB.
Yeah.
So we need to do more investigation to find out what really is happening to you. And they had said that they needed to do a biopsy. It's a test where they're supposed to take a sample of a bone from the spine and take it to the lab. Yeah, so it was quite costly somehow, because it was costing about 5,000 buying some kit they used to do the same thing. Yeah, so I didn't have money by then. I never managed to get it. I had to stay home, just depending on the painkillers and the like. Then 2018 again, it came so strong. I had to go back. They said we're still going back to the same thing that we said we are supposed to do, which is the same biopsy.
Ooh, I can imagine how traumatizing it was for you, like from this test to that test, this
it was
medication.
Really hard. Yeah. So I did that. I managed to buy the kit with the help of a number of artists that helped me with some money to buy. I bought the kit, I took it to the hospital. Okay, here's the kit that you told me to buy. Then unfortunately they kept on postponing the dates.
Oh no.
So I had to continue going there, and then I tried to remind the doctor to say, I remember when I was buying this thing, they told me it has an expiry date. So I don't know if you're considering that or maybe you have forgotten. Then he said, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I said, okay, fine. The second time again, it was another postponement. And then I had remained with a month, because it had 3 months.
Oh my God.
To expire. It had remained with a month. Then I said, there's only 1 month remaining for this thing to expire. Then he said, maybe you try high cost. I tried with high cost. They told me I had to pay 20,000.
Oh.
I said, I don't have that kind of money. So I just have to wait, maybe, I don't know when, if you can try to fuse me in, because they kept on saying the theater is it's fully booked. So I just said, okay, I'll try to wait again and see if it can work.
Yeah.
I waited until it was now 2 weeks remaining. When I went there, I told him, he asked the dates that were coming.
You kept on seeing the same doctor?
Yeah, because I've seen the same doctor from 2013 to now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other doctors at first were different ones. But they changed me. I had to wait for him to come from school, because he was in school, the spine specialist. So he told me you just have to wait for him to come so that he can take a look at your condition again. Yeah, so it happened that the thing expired before they could do the test. So I got frustrated. I remember that day telling myself, I'm not going back to UTH. I think they're not helping me and I'm tired.
I can imagine, because each one of us would just get to that point where, like, I'm tired, like, I can't just do this.
Yeah, and the pain is unbearable, and then you find like, well, I think what was like making them relax is because the fact that I'm still working.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So I think that was the thing that maybe made them to be relaxed.
So people who are like in your condition, most of them don't walk.
Yeah.
So the fact that you were walking for them meant like you were okay, you were fine.
You're not that bad, because I could hear him say such words
like you're not that bad.
You're not like, because I complained of the years that I suffered with the same thing. Then he was like, you're complaining about 18 years when there are people who were born with that condition. Then I was like, oh no.
Like, he didn't say that.
He did. I remember I cried that day, like, I don't know, because I felt like, anyway, it's like, if the doctor can't see how serious this thing is, then who's going to help me? Yeah, so I felt like, okay, I think maybe they're tired of me coming here and things like that. So I reached that point of saying, I'm not going to come back here, I'm fed up. So that's when my husband had to say, okay, let me try to contact doctors from outside the country and see if they can help, because they said he's the only specialist in Zambia. So if he's the only one, where do we go? Nowhere. So we just have to try maybe outside. That's how he tried to contact the doctors from India, and they asked him to put me direct so that they can ask me questions, and I explain to them what I experienced and send them the MRIs, ESR tests, and all those kind of tests that I did.
And that was when?
That was 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's when they took a look at the test, the MRIs and everything, and they said, okay, you're suffering from what we call spondylosis, but they gave it that name depending on what they
what
to see.
you would like, what they saw the results.
We can have the full name of what exactly you are suffering from when we maybe do our own tests here. Yeah, so I said, okay, and what is the treatment? So they said, when you need to do a decompression and fusion treatment, of which I had to, they gave me the quotation, which came to about $9,200.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, so just the amount was like, will I ever be fine? I was like, anyway, maybe I just have to let it be, because where will I get this kind of money? Yeah. So
but the pain was still there.
The pain was still there. So that's why my husband said, no, don't lose hope. We'll still find a way. We can get this money somehow. Yeah, and I tried to do a fundraising concert, of which didn't do much because I didn't even get half of what I was supposed to get. But I still tried to do a second one, which didn't do well. It was just, I would say, a flop.
By then you were managing to like stand on stage?
No, I could not. I remember that concert I was singing while sitting.
And people were not surprised, like, what's going on? You explained to them what was going on?
I did explain to them.
Okay.
Yeah, so at least by then I never had the lumbar corset and the collar, so it didn't like look so weird to them. Some they knew, some they could not understand. Yeah, but it became so frustrating when I could not know how else to get the money and have myself treated. Yeah. And that's how the artists tried to form up a group where they can try to fundraise the money by maybe contributing. Yeah. A number of them did contribute,
but it wasn't enough to take you. It wasn't
enough to take me. Yeah. So then they thought there's a time that they talked to the minister, the Lusaka province minister. Yes, then he said he was going to take up the full bill under the Ministry of Health. Yeah, so they needed a report from the doctor. So that's what took me back to UTH now. Again. Say, okay,
like now
I never wanted to go back, I just have to now. So I went back, I requested for the report. The doctor totally refused to give me the report.
He refused?
Yeah, he said,
but why?
We don't just write reports like that because you have requested for it. We write when we have failed to treat you.
But did they manage? You've been going there for how long? Like from 2013?
Yeah.
Actually, you said 2002, right?
2002,
You've just been going there, like you've been doing this? Like all the time, it became like a routine.
It becomes worse. I go back just like that, but on painkillers like every day.
Okay, then if they said they couldn't write a report because they did not fail, then why were you still in pain, or why are you still in pain?
I do not know. So they say you needed to. We need to do our own tests and also write something what we have found, if it's something that we cannot treat or it is something that we can treat. Then I told them to say, okay, if you're telling me you've not failed, tell me what is happening, because from 2002 up to now, I've been coming here and I've not seen any change, but rather this thing is like progressing.
Yeah.
Because it was just on the lumbar at first, it went to the thoracic.
Yeah.
And as we speak now, it has reached the neck.
So it's getting worse.
Yeah. Oh. So, and the worst part of it is that when something is wrong in the spine, you can feel the pain in the spine quite all right, but the worst pain is felt in the nails, where like, like the neck that has a nerve which passes the message to the hands and the shoulders and the like. The thoracic is with the chest and the ribs, and then the lumbar is with the legs. So you can imagine now the entire body is affected, and I can't do. I would say I do nothing because I just sit at home and then I'm saved. What if I didn't have those people who could do those things for me?
In as much as we have people, we just need to be independent, like do things on our own, right?
It's a horrible situation. I mean, you used to do things, and then all of a sudden you can't do them. It feels horrible. And I'm a mother. I can't even like be like other mothers are to their children.
Like you can't play with them, you can't do anything with them.
I can't do most of the things with them, You find that my baby wants me to carry him.
And he doesn't understand why you can't carry him.
You see, I remember there was a point, there was a time when he told me to say, Mommy, when are you going to be fine? And I felt so bad because I think it was something that was hurting him somehow because I couldn't do most of the things for him. So I felt so bad, and I was like, oh God, why can't I be fine? Even not for me, but maybe just for my children. And it's been a kind of painful life.
I can imagine.
You can imagine like the gap which is between my firstborn and my second-born child. It's 12 years.
Wow.
Because of the condition. So I almost had an operation on the first one, but they tried to help me. I delivered normally. But on the second born, they said I cannot deliver normally because of the condition. If I try to deliver normally, I might just be paralyzed.
Oh God.
Because you know how it is. When you have to deliver, there's so much that is involved. So it has been so much of terrible experience. It hasn't been easy.
It's been traumatic.
I know I've sometimes complained to God, like in tears, to say, God, are you not seeing what is happening to me? I mean, why should I go through this when you're there?
So the minister didn't help because there was no report.
There was no report because, I mean, they will need a report for them to come in and what is going on. So, and I remember words like, you can report me wherever you want. And I didn't want to do that because even if I was to report him, he was going to find a better way of defending himself. I'm just a patient, he's a doctor, and he's got the best way of talking to them than I can. So I thought of, anyway, let me just let it be. I'll try and find help maybe elsewhere and just go to India, not through UTH, but just on my own because, I mean, I'm the one feeling it. I'm sure he can say that maybe he doesn't know. He doesn't understand. The pain that I feel
someone can just tell this, but until they feel what you are feeling, that's when they can relate with what you're going through. So is that what made you go out to the open? I'm sure it wasn't easy for you to just go to the open and say, people, I need your help.
It's been long when they tried to say, let's try to post it on Facebook so that you can be helped. I kept on refusing. I said, no, I don't want it to be like out in the open so that everyone can know that I'm sick. Because most of them actually wondered to say, I mean, all this time we knew you were sick. We didn't know. Like we
really had no idea. We just saw you stopped having concerts, then you stopped posting things on your social media, then we stopped seeing videos from you.
That's the thing. So it was kind of, I would try to force myself with the help of painkillers. Because I could take painkillers here and then. Because it was like, it's a horrible pain. To tell you the truth, I hardly sleep at night. You'll find that the time I feel like sleeping, it's around 11, 12, that's when I feel sleepy. That's during the day. But at night, the pain is so horrible because I can't sleep with these things. I have to take them off. And when I take them off, because they work as painkillers at some point, and they help me not to move my body to the extent of where it inflicts pain on me. So when I'm without them, the pain is like too much.
Oh, okay.
There was a time the doctor had to help me with some sleeping pills. But again, he couldn't continue giving me because he said we can't continue giving you, will damage you. So we just have to try and find if you can take some sleep. But still, it's not been easy because you find that most people even wonder to say, what are you still doing online? This is 01. I mean, they don't understand. Sometimes I would just tell them because I'm in pain, so I'm trying to keep myself distracted, maybe if I can. Yeah, so I would just have to wear this back and sit. Maybe when the sleep is like too strong, maybe that's when I would doze off and then sleep off, just like that. Yeah, so it has been really...
It hasn't been easy, even just you getting to social media and just saying, I need help.
It hasn't been easy. For me to say yes, actually, he was even surprised. So Mr. Chola is one of the people that actually said we need to maybe take it out there. Karen is one of the artists that said we need to come out and get help outside because I think if you just keep, if we just keep quiet, we might not get what you need. So maybe there are people out there who can just come in and say, okay, I have this money. You go and have yourself treated. So that's when I said, okay, fine. I think this time I'll say yes.
Let me just do it.
That's how they brought it out because I remember it was last year in October. Was it October? No, early November. That's when they posted it on social media. And quite all right, there were a number of people that were coming in to help and sending in some help. I could receive some money, like 10 kwachas from well wishers. And I really appreciate those 10 kwachas because it's not easy for somebody just to remove the 10 kwacha in this time of COVID-19.
Yeah, everyone is trying
if
to
somebody can just spare 10 kwacha for you, it really means a lot to me. So I really felt loved and felt cared for. What I didn't like was being pitied. That is what made me not to even go on social media. But I mean, when everybody looks at me like this, they have no choice but to feel pity on me.
It's not really. I don't know. I'm not trying to judge. I'm not trying to judge.
Yeah.
I think we'll come back and talk about this on the other side. So for now, let's just play a clip because we showed you on our news. Yes, so there's some people who didn't see it, some people saw it. So I'm asking you guys that even as we are playing this clip, make sure that you tag as many people, our live stream on our Facebook page, share in different groups so that our mother, our sister, our niece, our daughter can get the help that she needs. You have somehow heard what she's explained. So let's just get to that clip and see it. And maybe we can also play a song. Yes. So let's just get to that clip.
Kutemwa kwenu pamwe ondi wachila pili Yahweh.
These tears explains the 18 years of suffering she has gone through due to a health condition, a situation that grabbed away her normal life. Caro Nambela, a gospel artist formerly known for her Change My Level gospel song Naipela, where she featured Philemon, and Lisa Mupige, in which was featured by Kabova, has for the last 18 years been living with a spinal problem, a condition which she explains started in 2002 when she was pregnant with her firstborn child, only worsened in 2018 to a point where she could no longer wake and walking was a challenge.
This problem started in 2002, and then I was pregnant, and I used to feel pains in my left leg. So I thought it was a normal thing, listening to what people would say, no, maybe mwana kalamkwendo, things like that. But it kept on going worse and worse until it almost made me become like I'm disabled because I couldn't walk straight. I was bending and walking, so I had to seek for help at the hospital. So I decided to say, okay, let me just try to ask online maybe from other doctors outside there. My husband managed to get an Indian doctor. He talked to him on phone, and then they exchanged numbers on of the WhatsApp numbers, because he asked for the MRI results, the blood results and everything, for which we had to send to him. And then he actually said, from what I am seeing, she could be suffering from spondylitis, something like that, you know.
This mother of two and a teacher by profession narrates to Kamni TV how her life has changed during this period.
At some point I even said, okay, I'm giving up on the hospital, because they are trying their level best, but it's like I'm not getting what I need. So I'd stayed home again, but somewhere in 2018 it was really bad to the extent that I couldn't do most of the things, depending on how the pain is. But there are times I just try to force myself to do all those things. But on the home chores, cooking, I try to cook. Sweeping, even as little as this house can be, but it takes me time to finish it. Washing, I don't. Normally there's my neighbor there, she normally asks me to give her the clothes, then she washes for me.
Despite a critical condition that needs urgent attention, this did not stop her from having a concert to raise money for her treatment. Even with effort from other gospel musicians coming on board to source for some funds so that she can be sent to India for medical treatment, not enough has been raised, as only 25,000 kwacha has been raised out of 180,000 kwacha, the total amount needed to save her life. She has since appealed to President Edgar Lungu to come to her aid.
I still have a long way to reach the 180,000. And from the last concert that I had, that was last week on Friday, yeah, the turnout was not so good. So Karen thought it wise to say, okay, I think we're stressing you to let you do this on your own. We have to come in as artists and help you. Mm-hmm.
What would you like the government to do for you?
If they can help me to fund the treatment to India, I think it can really help me a lot, because it's quite a huge amount of money, and not just a single person can really just get that money out of their pocket. So if the government can come in to help, I would really be grateful. Very, very grateful.
Nambila lives with a hope for a change. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Kamni TV News in Lusaka.